Welcome welcome all to episode 185 of the Xbox Expansion Pass, recorded on Saturday, July 8th, 2023. I am your host, Luke Lohr, the InsipidGhost, joined not by my co-host, the intrepid Captain Logan, but honored to be joined by the host of the Trophy Room, a PlayStation podcast, Mr. Badbit. And in this episode, we have a quieter news week than we expected in the absence of ABK news. However, a new Xbox Showcase, Game Pass updates, and a flurry of listener questions are going to keep us going. As always, we hope you enjoy the show. Joe, we like to start the show by offering words of kindness to those who have made our gaming weeks better. But first, how are you, my friend?
I was Luke's last pick to be here.
It's true. I asked a lot of people.
A lot. The list was long, and somehow it finally got back down to me. Yeah. But you know what? I'm happy to be here, man. I'm happy to talk to you about games. And you know what? Because we have some personas on the social media, and I'm just here to say, Luke's my good buddy. Yeah. And my girlfriend and his mom were just happy,
I continuously get a kick out of people that aren't in on the joke.
Yeah.
They jump in and they're like, whoa, you don't talk to him that way.
Exactly.
It's like,
you guys are so nice, but like to each other, I don't even know. Are you guys even friends? Friends.
Debatable.
Yeah, loosely. Yeah.
Debatable.
I'm doing good, man. I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to talk maybe some ABK news. I don't even know.
Yeah, we got it was no ABK this week.
Oh, good.
Because the decision didn't come down, which we were expecting it to come down. We were all kind of waiting in bait on Friday, just like, no news. So that is kind of nice, if I'm being honest. Like to get a little break. Nice little break. I'm cool with that.
Does it make you a little nervous though?
It does not make me nervous. I'm not nervous. I've said this before, and I will make it clear. I have no stake in this other than being an Xbox content creator.
Same.
And that is the capacity I would talk about it. I want Toys for Bob free so they can make some good platformers.
Fair.
But does Luke Lohr live and die by this? No. Do I think Xbox lives and dies by this? No. Do I think I need to battle about the billion-dollar companies? No. I'll cover it however it comes out. I'll be happy if Xbox gets a boost because it's the platform I cover and it's of choice. If they don't, okay. Okay.
Yeah, pretty much the same. But I would say I would like to see, because $2 billion plus companies fighting is boring. And the stakes aren't there. But, if we could get a Phil Spencer v. Jim Ryan in the ring, like Elon and the other guys doing.
The old Zuck.
The old Zuck. I want to see it. I want to see how dirty of a fighter Jim Ryan is,
I feel like he'd fight dirty.
Oh, yeah. He has concrete in those gloves.
Yeah, he'd fight dirty. Fight dirty. Well, look, we like to start the show with words of kindness, and I invite you to offer your words of kindness to whomever has made your gaming week better.
So it can't be myself, right? I gotta appear.
It's gotta be somebody else. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Better.
Can I just say, you know what I woke up to that was really nice?
What's that?
Captain Logan, he's out there in the UK sailing the seas in that Sea of Thieves get together over there.
Yep.
He recorded a live show in front of a live studio audience.
I didn't see that yet.
Yeah. There was a big crowd. Yeah.
Okay.
So honestly, that made my morning.
Oh my gosh! Will you kick me that link?
Absolutely.
Because I would love to watch that. I'm so happy for Logan because let's be honest, he works so hard at Keelhauled. He puts Trophy Room and XEP to shame. He's just built this incredible thing. And I'm honored.
Well, maybe XEP, but yeah.
I'm honored that he joins me to talk about other things apart from Sea of Thieves. But he's built something great, and that community is amazing. Is just amazing,
stellar.
So hey, we got to play Sea of Thieves soon. The Monkey Island.
Right? Did it just come out or is it coming out?
This month.
Okay. All right.
Soon.
Good. I'm excited. I'll do it.
Same too. We love Sea of Thieves.
Yeah.
So, not enough. 900 hours isn't enough, by the way.
No, it's not. 900 hours is not enough.
We're not actual fans.
No. I have to be up there too, right? At around 900 hours, you think? Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're up there. I would like to offer words of kindness to Mr. Rick Davis. Rick reached out to me. He's a patron and a friend on Twitter. But I gave quotes to an outlet that was writing an article about a game that's Xbox centric. And the way they pitched it to me was not how they built it in headlines.
Oh, really?
So I was really pissed, really disappointed with the outlet, with that journalist, and how the quotes were used. Was used to weaponize people against the game, against. I was just like,
Sure.
that's not what we gave you quotes for.
Yeah.
And so I was a little bummed about that. However, Rick and several others reached out and they were like, "Hey, don't worry about it. It's okay. That's cool."
Yeah.
So.
If it makes you feel better, I also was in a Kotaku article that they,
it's like, what are you?
It's not all as well. It's chalked up to be. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I was like, what are you doing? You pitched it one way and wrote it the other. It's
I
like
know.
stupid. Don't give him a click. So, all right. So, Rick Davis, you're amazing. We appreciate you. Some housekeeping here before we get into the week's news. XEP has crossed some milestones. We crossed 1,000 subscribers over on youtube.com/Xbox Expansion Pass. Pretty darn cool, given that we started video versions of the show this year. That's when we started like filming and doing stuff like there. So that's really exciting. We've well over 80K downloads on Podbean, which is pretty darn amazing, which is dope. One patron from 30 on Patreon. We're 109 gaming interviews
Nice.
this to date, which is pretty darn cool. And we just interviewed the founder of Hive Social, which is a Twitter competitor. All the more cool because like I spoke to Raluca, who is the founder of Hive, on the day that Threads went live, which was really, really cool to like hear the insight and what's going on. So that was those were some cool little like housekeeping notes that I hope people check out, celebrate, enjoy, support where you can. And you can find me on all of those platforms at InsipidGhost. And Joe, you joined Threads as well, yes?
Yeah, and I'm a little upset, and I'm going to tell you why.
Oh boy.
You can find me everywhere at Mr. Badbit, right? Except on Instagram, because it's a weird account. Has Mr. Badbit. So on Threads, I'm Mr. _Badbit.
I so wish it was me that had that handle.
Is it you?
No, it's not. But I wish it was, because I would charge you. I'd be like, "You better up that Patreon, buddy."
That's right. Oh goddamn! Can I also say though, congratulations on the 1,000 on YouTube.
Oh, thank you.
You don't do any of the clickbait. You're literally one of the best Xbox shows. And oftentimes when we talk to one another, you're like, yeah, we're so small, blah 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 blah. But like the growth, like how many people would kill for that 1K, right? And that's just on the video feed, right? Yeah. We're not even talking where the main show is, which is like Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Rate XEP 5 stars there. You don't get to win anything, but the acknowledgement that you did something good.
Yeah,
that is such an achievement. In the time that you did it. So please give yourself a pat on the back. Everybody, shout out Luke. All right. That's the only kind thing I'll say about him.
I appreciate you, buddy. I appreciate
the whole entire show.
No, oh my gosh.
You get one.
I am curious to watch how the social spaces change with Twitter really taking some hits. Deserved hits, mind you.
Yeah.
But I've often felt that gaming and social media are synonymous now. Like we literally have share buttons built into the controllers of all 3 major platforms. So to watch Threads get 70 million downloads in 2 days, I'm curious how Xbox and PlayStation and Nintendo make use of this space because they're also working with Blue Sky. They're working with Mastodon. They're working with there's one that Shrill.
I have no idea.
Spill. It's
Spill. Yes. Yeah.
Spill. Okay. So I'm curious to watch kind of like how that transitions the gaming space in any way.
Yeah, and the conversations that we're going to be having, because I feel like, over the last 9 months, I think the conversation, well, even just like more than that, like the last few years, right, listeners, I think you could agree here. Social media has been such a negative space for almost anything, like any fandom, whether it's comic books, whether it's movies, whether it's games, but games specifically, since we're in it. The conversation, I feel like as more people have left in the last few months, has just been increasingly toxic and negative and divisive. And you're kind of seeing the worst characters pop up to fill the shoes on for what has been good people leaving out of fatigue. So, I'm curious how the conversation around video games changes as the landscape of social media changes.
Right.
You know, because I'm already seeing like places like Hive. Oh my God, they're like their communities are so positive. You know,
Yeah.
like the threads, like it's really nice.
Yeah.
You know, threads too. There's just needs to be some more features there to make it truly competitive in a big way. But like, you know, to me, I think that's the interesting thing. How this is going to change the way we talk and cover about games. You know?
Agree.
It's the biggest race car in the world just passed by.
Wow. Forza
Yeah.
Motorsport in your home.
Yeah.
That's pretty impressive.
It sucks living next to a highway. Yeah.
Yeah, so a space to watch, wherever your listener, wherever your social space is, it's changing, and
Mhm.
that's interesting. Like that the format, the way we interact is going to change, and it's fun to watch the brands react as well.
Yeah.
You know, so that's something too.
Wendy's already out there grilling folks.
Yeah.
They took no time.
Well, it started off with McDonald's. I was like, oh boy,
Oh boy, here we go again.
Here we go.
All right.
So I want to point some listeners to some cool news that came out this week. This is an ID@Xbox Showcase that is taking place on July 11th. That's this Tuesday at 10 a.m. Pacific or 1 p.m. Eastern. This showcase, I believe, is being done in conjunction with IGN. There's a little bit of confusion about who's running it per se, but we've seen ID@Xbox link up with Twitch before. Sounds like IGN is this partner. This showcase is going to run probably an hour or two, but then like the bigger showcase, like the bigger element of it is going to be running from July 11th through 17th, and there are going to be 40 game demos available to download on your Xbox. I love that. I think that's great. Outlets that are interested in indie, I think about the Indie Gamer, 61 Indie, a bunch of XEP fam, always like checking stuff like this out. Some ones of note, Lies of P, which will be in Game Pass later this year. That's gonna have a demo. Interested to see kind of where that lands. Sea of Stars is often requested. Shout out to Thierry Boulanger, who's been on the show twice. People are really excited for Sea of Stars. That's in the Messenger universe.
Yeah.
Wandering Village and Worldless were also on those lists. I think it's cool when we have these showcases. My fear, Joe, is that the FTC decision drops on the same day, and this is just like, because like IGN's gonna have to focus on the FTC decision, right? Like everyone's gonna have to focus on it. So I hope that doesn't happen to these amazing indie devs.
I'm going to tell you right here, right now. I think that's absolutely what's going to happen, and it's a huge bummer, because I mean there was some news around the time the FTC things were happening, and just it felt like everything was just the oxygen out of the room. Let's talk about this one thing at nauseum. That's why I'm hoping we get to hear it on Monday as the show drops, so that we can finally be done with it, and then we can focus on these games, because it's giving me vibes. This whole event is kind of giving me vibes of what is it, the Arcade Days of Summer or whatever. Yeah. So like
Summer of Arcade.
Yeah, Summer of Arcade. There you go. And so like, to me, the thing that excites me is the revival of demos, dude. Like,
yeah,
I feel like what we lost with live events, I feel like we're gaining with being able to actually access these games. Usually teams have to work for, 8 to 6 months on a vertical slice to be shown at one of these events. And instead, maybe they could use that time to showcase a demo, to showcase their game, and to get you excited for it. Like Lies of P, I've been playing that demo, and it's gotten me way more excited about that game. It's a day one purchase. Same with Sea of Stars. Like that's a day one purchase because, of the demo. So all of this is really exciting to me as a PlayStation fan. I'm worried the FTC is going to overshadow this.
Anecdotal question for you then. You're going to have access to Lies of P, Sea of Stars in Game Pass. Are you still buying it for PlayStation?
Probably. Lies of P, yes. So for me, I can't play a Souls game on an Xbox controller.
It's too good. The controller's too good.
Well,
it makes more sense. The offset sticks are just too accurate. I get it.
No, I mean the opposite goes for everything you just said. But no, there's just something like, usually I could put any controller in my hand and it's fine. That's my hill that I die on. It's like,
or are we showing Starfield controllers?
Yeah, it's my Starfield.
Let's just show them. Look how fancy we are. Oh, that's
It's
beautiful.
just they're both in arm's reach is what I'm trying to get, because I'm a gamer. I'm here to play the games. I'm here to relate to you youth. But like when it comes to a Souls game, there's just something that is inherently PlayStation about it that I have to.
Mm.
There's something about the circle dodge that I can't move away from.
Can I tell
So
you? I
yeah,
agree with you.
yeah.
I played Elden Ring 180 hours. Love it. I did all that on Xbox. But if I think Souls, I also think PlayStation.
Oh wow, yeah.
Yeah.
And for Sea of Stars, because it's an indie thing, I'm thinking I'll be playing it mostly on the go.
Mm-hmm.
I'm either debating using my Switch or using my Steam Deck, because there's no way I'm gonna platinum that game. So it kind of takes that stress out of it. So actually, probably for both these games, neither, just because of the way and how I'll be playing them and interacting with them.
I'm trying to figure out if Sea of Stars is Game Pass day one, that might mean you
Yes.
have it on Game Pass for PC.
Ooh,
And
so
then you could just play that.
theoretically.
Yeah,
All
in
right.
theory. Because in the console space, we don't talk a lot about PC.
Yeah.
And Game Pass for PC is skyrocketing. We got news as we, thanks to ABK, giving us real information with the trial. We saw like the numbers for Call of Duty, and like 7 million people play Call of Duty on Xbox. It's like, oh wow. And then you see PlayStation's like 14 or 15 or something higher than
Yeah.
that. And then PC dwarfs both of them.
Yeah.
You know, and like we forget about that market, I think. Because like if
And
you, all of them are big, but
yeah.
like scale is important, scope is important.
Yeah, we always kind of think about like, oh, Xbox, PlayStation, only two things that live in this game space. When
Mm-hmm.
like and we're the vocal minority, where when you just zoom out a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
PC dwarfs us, and then when you zoom out just a little bit more, mobile just dwarfs the entire thing.
Yeah,
So
it's
yeah,
it's
it's
wild.
nuts, and
It's
it is day one on PC, and so maybe I'll be playing Game
maybe,
Pass on
yeah,
this.
if you're Steam decking it,
Yeah,
as an option. It's an option that again I point you towards, because if you can save some money and play some games where
sure.
you want to play, rock on.
Yeah.
Uh, So it goes. So it goes. But I asked that anecdotal question because we see the questions of, like Jim Ryan coming out saying like game publishers don't like Game Pass. We've seen articles about uh, Game Pass cannibalizing sales, which to an extent could happen. But then I point you to the next topic on our news cycle. GTA 5 is returning to Game Pass for the third time.
Yeah.
And Derek Strickland wrote the article that I'm citing here. And Derek Strickland, by the way, is the same journalist that's been doing incredible work covering
Incredible.
the FTC trial. You guys should be following him at Tweak. I don't. His handle escapes me, but he writes for Tweaktown.
I think it's Deke Tweak.
Deke Tweak makes
Yeah.
sense. That sounds right.
Two E's.
But an awesome journalist, and he was writing about how Jim Ryan does say that Game Pass is self-destructive, and yet we see a title like Grand Theft Auto 5 cycling itself between Game Pass and PlayStation Plus
Yeah.
to boost its awareness whenever it does like a major update. And that has extended the life cycle of this major AAA game. It's pretty darn cool, all things considered, to see that that's happening. One of the cool quotes in here, it says, and this is from Derek's article, research and analysis shows that Grand Theft Auto franchise revenues have actually increased on a quarter-by-quarter basis shortly after the game was added into subscription services like PlayStation Plus and Xbox Game Pass.
Yeah.
That's cool. I think that's neat. And so when we talk about like Game Pass helping or hurting, every publisher and developer I've spoken to by way of interviews has been high on Game Pass. They appreciate it. They want to be in there. They try. They can't get in there. But of course, there's a finite amount that I've talked to. But then you see this major, like the most successful AAA. I mean, shoot, even FIFA is in Game Pass by way of EA Play.
Wait, you got the FIFAs?
The FIFA?
So I could do the voice. You can't. So
Why is that?
I don't know, man. I don't know. It's a power dynamic, I've been told. So yeah, this is interesting. When Jim Ryan talks, we got to understand something. First off, like they're both trying to like sell you on why one side is bad than the other. Like I think both arguments, to be honest, are like almost equally pathetic. if not equally. So when I hear Jim Ryan go, yeah, every single publisher I've talked to, I don't think he's like talking to Focus Home Interactive. I think he's talking to EA, 2K, and Activision, and even like Bobby Kotick going like, no, I would never put Call of Duty on a subscription service day one. I think when he means everyone, I think he means the major players. I think like he is speaking about the EAs that will put out a Madden and it sell, millions of units on the first week, right? And they don't see the importance of Game Pass as a day one option for them, because why? If I can sell this at $70 and millions of people are going to jump on it, why would I put it on a service? Right. So, in that aspect, I understood where Jim's coming from. Like, he's not talking about the indie developers like a Devolver. He's talking about the bigger of the big. That said, though, you're seeing these publishers use Game Pass as a vehicle. So, like, Capcom with Exoprimal is a great example. I don't know if Capcom has all the faith in the world that game's going to do stellar. Right. So why not just off chance some of that risk, or offload some of that risk onto Game Pass and pay for your development, pay for some of your marketing, and have a safer bet. Same with Square Enix with Outriders, right? So I think you're seeing these developers and major publishers use it more like a tool, because that is super interesting. Grand Theft Auto goes on a streaming service of any kind, and it jumps in value, and people go out there and seemingly purchase it as well as they're playing it,
because as the game cycles out, they get a discount for purchasing it, which is the sneaky smart like way of keeping the customer.
Yep.
Makes good sense.
Makes really good sense. Yeah.
Now PlayStation has had COD in their services before. Like, if I remember that like distinctly.
Yeah, I mean, Cold War right now, as of recording, is in PlayStation Plus as the game of the month. Yeah.
So it's strange to me to hear Kotick during the trial say, "Oh, we'd never do that." It's like, you're doing that right now.
Like, yeah, they do it, but again, I think when he's saying I'll never do it, I think it's day one. That's because, I mean, like, honestly, as through the business end, why would you?
Why would you? Yeah.
Again, it makes millions. It's and for us as consumers, I know some of you might like perk your heads up. I'm not saying like don't ever put it on Game Pass, because it would be awesome for us, but as a business standpoint, as the bean counters in the room, why would you? This thing's gonna sell millions anyway. Does this have any signs of slowing down anytime soon? Why do it?
Do you remember the part in the ABK trial where they were talking about, what were they? They were saying, the fear is that if Call of Duty goes day one into Game Pass, people won't buy PlayStation or interested in PlayStation Plus. And the judge goes, "Well, couldn't you put the Thor game in there?" It's like, maybe shut up.
Well, I mean, like, and I mean, as good of a point that is, it's like, but like that Thor game cost $200+ million to make for us on one single platform, right? It's not going to make $1 billion in a weekend like Call of Duty is,
right?
But and that's if the lawyers were inept at what they were, or actually knew what they were doing. Yeah,
they are inept. Yeah,
and they are inept.
But I liked her question because like it's so. Like it's so your mom asking the question, like when you're trying to pitch her on like what you want and why she has to buy you the new toy or whatever. She's like, "Well, why can't we just do this?" Shut up.
Because it's not as easy, and I'm gonna tell. Like, it's like when you were a kid and you saw that 60 Minutes like piece of like why violent video games are bad, and you're like you're trying to like you're standing on the podium trying to like to just like block the TV. You go, no, what they're saying.
But you had to do this.
Andy
with Diablo.
Rooney is wrong.
You had to do this with Diablo. I had to do it with Doom.
Yeah,
we were like, you're fighting the demons. You're killing the bad guys. You're stopping the hell from taking over. Don't you want us to save the world?
It's actually extremely Christian. If Christ had a shotgun, he'd be doing the same thing.
Everybody on Truth Social perks up. He's right. He's right. Oh my gosh. Oh man. Speaking of Game Pass from earlier, prices are now up. That price hike that was impending has now occurred. It has happened. We have gone and hold on to your hats for this one. Game Pass is now from $9.99 to $10.99, or Ultimate from $14.99 to $16.99
Oof.
in the majority of markets. It's a $1 increase, and it
Uh-oh.
makes good sense, I feel, given the value proposition. The market is different than when Game Pass launched, and Xbox has held out for a long time on price hikes. PlayStation did it earlier. Xbox held off. By the way, Xbox should have held off. They needed to be the cheaper option. They had no exclusives. They had no like day one, like, you really need first party stuff. And now they've got one coming. It makes good sense to do it. That doesn't mean I'm not like, or that doesn't mean I'm in favor of it. I'm bummed because I don't like paying more money.
Sure.
But I still think the value is there. I'm okay with Ultimate being $16.99 a month. I buy it in year increments, so I don't have to worry about it. I get it when it's on sale.
Yeah.
I know they brought back the Game Pass for $1 if you're new.
Okay.
But the big thing is now that they've got something happening with Game Pass, they've got on the horizon Starfield, Hellblade, Forza Motorsport. It's like, okay, cool. If they'd done this mess before Redfall, I would have been a little upset.
Yeah.
Given the way Redfall landed, right?
Yeah.
My enjoyment of it aside, it's
Yeah.
not what was promised.
Well, that's not what Kotaku said. So for me, no, I'm not bummed. I always get, and it's kind of just like the whole deal in general. My thing isn't out of like, I want this deal not to go through because boo Microsoft. It's like, I'm just nervous. Anytime we consolidate, I get nervous.
Sure.
It's a huge risk, right? For a multi-trillion-dollar company to acquire a multi-billion-dollar company. It always scares me. There's a lot of risk there, especially for a service that is still growing, right? So when I hear these like this news, I'm like, a part of me is like, okay, are we in the early Netflix stage where it's like, hey guys, $1 more, and then like 2 years from now, another $1, and then 3 years from now, it's like, and then like by the time you notice it, it's like $25 a month. Like that makes me nervous. Sure. The future of subscription service in general does make me a little nervous, just because like, look at what's happening now. You got like Disney Plus, like removing a bunch of content
and no way to get that content.
Exactly.
That's a bummer. That's not okay, I don't think.
No. So every time I see this, I'm like, okay, all right, a little nervous. Where are we on the timeline of Netflix? It's kind of like where I'm at. But listen, it's only $1 more. Or buck and change more, and it's been this way for a very long time. You could blame it on inflation as well, and so yeah, it's fine. It's a stronger service than what it was also a few years back. So that's maybe something I need to take in perspective as well.
I think it's something like 400 games are in there now, which is wild when you think about it. They're having a good month rather for Game Pass right now. McPixel 3, Common Hood, Insurgency Sandstorm, Tectonica, The Cave, all going in there, as well as what I'm excited for, Exoprimal. I'm excited for Exoprimal. That game's going to be fun. We're going to play it for a couple weeks, and then we're going to move on to Immortals, and then after Immortals, then we're going to be into the silly season. For sure. But I'm excited for this month's Game Pass. There's also perks. The perks for Game Pass are pretty darn good. By the way, Joe, some good Sea of Thieves perks in there. Go redeem those.
All right.
Before the end of the month. If you like Hi-Fi Rush, they've got new outfits in there. I like Game Pass perks. I think that's a smart thing to do. Like, here's a little cosmetic boost. I know there's the Women's World Cup is now into FIFA 23. Sniper Elite and Wolong are both in Game Pass, and they're getting DLC as well. It's another way of monetizing there. One thing I noticed Mark Zuckerberg said on Threads was like, they have a timeline for monetization. They need 1 billion users, then they'll start trying to monetize. Which, what a metric. What a metric. Like, okay. Interesting. Because, like, of course, Threads is not your friend. Twitter is not your friend now, nor ever. Doesn't matter who's in charge. So, like, monetization makes sense. That doesn't mean I like it.
Yeah. And that's always, I think, I mean, we're going to talk about a question. I'll save it for a question later, but I think that's why a lot of folks dig our jive is like, I don't like, PlayStation isn't my friend. I cover PlayStation. Jim Ryan is not fighting for me. Like, yeah, Phil Spencer holds a controller and he actually plays a game. Does not mean he has me in mind.
Right. You know? Yep. Fully agree. Super cool news. I thought Street Fighter 6 hit 2 million in sales. I love that because I think Street Fighter 6 is fantastic. I have tried to play online. I'm too old and I get wrecked. I played with Elu from Seasoned Gaming.
Yeah.
Joe, I was once really good. I didn't even get up. Like, I was playing with my new fight stick and I just got trounced.
Really?
I mean, like, it was painful. But I still love this game. They've got their new fighter, Rashid, coming out in a few days, which is really exciting. I think it's 24th of July. But like, Street Fighter 6 is really good. I love that Capcom has consistently seen success because of their hard work. They've not had a game that they've worked hard on that's flopped, which is cool. Like I said, I'm excited for Exo Primal. I think it's neat to see this kind of happening. Mortal Kombat 1 deservedly is getting a lot of attention. Mortal Kombat 1 felt great in the stress test. I played that.
Dude, it looks great. The latest gameplay trailer
with the smoke and rain.
Ooh, yep. Yeah. Smoke, voiced by Yuri Lowenthal. So
that's cool. That's cool. For fans that don't know, that's Spider-Man.
Yep.
And he's in a bunch of stuff. He's in a bunch of stuff.
Great voice actor.
Yeah, he's a wonderful dude.
Maybe one day.
What, you want to meet him? You want to have him on?
Oh, that's a dream. I think him and Christopher Judge would be the dream guests for the trophy room.
I have a connection to Yuri.
Oh yeah?
I do. Yeah.
Oh, you writing it down?
I'm writing it down.
Are you even gonna put this in the show?
Yes.
I don't look at that
like that. It's too much work. It's too much work. But I have a connection to Yuri Lowe. Okay. I'll see if I can. I'll see what I can do.
See if you can whip it up.
Yeah, no promises. No promises. Let's see here. So yeah, bottom line, Street Fighter. I'm excited for that. The franchise is now over 50 million in sales, which is cool. It's outpacing Street Fighter 5. Street Fighter 6 is. I like that for a lot of reasons. Street Fighter 5, and this is not a fanboy console war thing. It is dumb to take a fighting game exclusive, I think, because the audience, the fighting game community, is what makes a fighting game.
Yeah.
And when you make it hard for people to connect, we have a problem there, I think.
Yeah. And the fighting game community is already so niche as it is.
Correct. Powerful, but niche.
Yeah. And can I say the coolest thing about this is also seeing Ed Boon championing and cheering on Street Fighter 6 as well. Like, I love that community so much in terms of the creators that are creating them have an admiration and a respect for one another that they're so loud about. Yeah. And I absolutely love that. We need more of that in this industry.
I agree. And I love that mentality, because the reality is, back in the day, and for you young kids, if you wanted to play video games, you had to go to a place where you had quarters. Quarters were physical money.
That's right.
And you would drop that physical money into a box.
Not a Dave and Buster's. You didn't have a cool card. You get to the half the time worked. You went to
Street Fighter cabinet and Mortal Kombat cabinet. They were always both busy.
Yeah.
And they help each other. Like you need that. Like you need one and the other, and the competition is important. Ed Boon is one of my people that I want to have on.
Okay. I have a connection as well.
Ed Boon and Cliff Blazinski are the two that, like, I'll ask openly on Twitter. Be like, hey, I don't have standards anymore. Please come on my show.
If you ever get Cliff on the show, I also just need to be there.
That's fair. I get it. I get it.
I won't ask a single question. I'll just be, Cliff, hi, you made one of my favorite games of all time.
We have an interview later this month or early next month, we think. And Logan said the exact thing. He's like, yeah, I just want to be there for that. I was like, all right. He's like, I just want to be in the room. Okay. That's weird. Don't mind him.
Hi, you just make Gears of War.
Let's see. Diablo Season 1 is arriving on July 20th. You and I played a ton of Diablo. You won't even let me play with you anymore because you're too high up. I'm a level 81, by the way, which is very high.
Yeah.
Joe is in the 90s and won't carry me through his dungeons for the XP, which is really frustrating.
Yeah.
Because I just need a little.
Because I have to do so much more DPS. You don't understand. I'm now fighting guys that are level like 98, 99, 100.
Yeah, but I'll stand in the back and just like,
But now they're going to have like double the health because you're there, and I'm going to die a lot.
Well, yeah, but look, shoulda, coulda, woulda. Like, I'm just saying. So yeah, I'm excited for Diablo's first season. I'm learning about Diablo. This is a game that I was never planning to be into. I am into it. I changed and altered how Incinerate works for my sorcerer, and now I'm like, now I'm doing even more damage. I'm like, let's go. I'm getting Paragon points, and It's the end game is cool, but I do tire of it. Like
Mhm.
the grind is tough if you're not with a crew.
Yeah.
And our crew is now split between levels, and that's frustrating.
Yeah.
So,
Well, hopefully with seasons. So with seasons, what I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna wait until so I'm gonna make a barb and we'll level together.
okay. I'm gonna
And
do a
so
necro.
okay, so that will be the character I level with you guys, and then I'll still have my sorcerer and the barb that I will be making for my hardcore run.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna plat that game. End of the
I'm
month.
impressed. I'm impressed. See, I don't think you can pull off a hardcore run on tier 4. That's what I don't think is
No.
doable.
Yeah, that's not the goal. That's not the goal.
Okay, I got you. I got you. Either way, that season is called Malignant. A lot of things being added and changed to the game ahead of that, which is cool for sure. Now, Joe, when I tweeted out that you and I would be working together here, by the way, all these amazing people could hear us on Cast Co-op, which we do with our friend Ainsley Bowden. He's bald.
Bi-weekly show.
Bi-weekly
Season
show.
Gaming.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. We still got a ton of questions about for the two of us here, and they're good. They're fun. Yeah, they're fun.
Okay.
We're gonna start
Let her
first
rip.
with the Lord Sir Master James Suddy. He's a patron of the show. You may know him.
That's right.
He wants to know what new IP is coming out that you're looking forward to playing with each other. Never mind all this remake and remaster crap. What new IP? So the new IP part is difficult, right?
I mean, I would say Exo Primal is something we're gonna definitely play together.
I agree. I don't know if that's what he means, but Exoprimal is the one. Like that's that's our next multiplayer game for sure. We're gonna go in. We're gonna have a blast, killing some dinosaurs, laughing at the audacity of portals dropping velociraptors that are all cohesively deciding to fight us instead of each other. So that's a fun one. That's a fun one. But like down the line, like I don't know if the new Xbox IPs are single or multiplayer, like Fable. That's not a new IP, but like Clockwork Revolution, South by Midnight.
Yeah. No, I mean, even like I'm excited for Starfield. I bought the controller. I gotta be, but like we won't be playing that together, unfortunately.
Right.
You know?
So I guess Exoprimal is our answer.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a good one. I like that one. Thank you, Sadie, for writing in. This one comes from Todd Oxtra, also a patron of the show. He says, you, Mr. Badbit and InsipidGhost, each of you have to trade one PlayStation studio for one Xbox studio, but the twist is that those studios have to make a remake of Brute Force and The Order 1886. Joe, I'm gonna tell you right now, I like The Order 1886 as a fun game.
Yeah, and I love Brute Force.
I never played Brute Force.
Dude, it was great. It was the we have Mass Effect at home type of game.
That's what Brute Force. I thought it was a side scroller beat 'em up.
No. The way my memory serves, that was a third person action game that I unironically love so much. It had like a reptile man in the front of the cover, right? Let me type this up. Yeah, Brute Force.
It is a Mass Effect at home.
Yeah, it's awesome.
But it's awesome. Pre-Mass Effect. It's pre-Mass Effect.
It is pre-Mass Effect. But like, for the audience at home, they'll understand it. Yeah, reptile man in the front, redhead chick with two guns. So
this so this gameplay looks cool. This looks like my kind of game.
It is.
It looks like a Star Wars without Star Wars.
Yeah. Okay. So who would I have take Brute Force, a PlayStation studio, to do a third person thing? You know what? You know who I'd have on here?
Who's that?
I'd have Ben Studio on this.
Ben Studio would do it. Yeah. Now, what has Ben made for any Xbox listener that doesn't
know? So they made the Siphon Filter games, literally all of them from PS1 to PSP. They made the Vita what is it? Killzone games and Resistant games.
That Vita Killzone game, Killzone Mercenary.
Yeah.
Perfection.
Great. And then they made Days Gone. And that is such I think it's become like a cult hit amongst PlayStation fans. At least that's what socials would have me have tell me. It was a really great game or idea on paper that I would love to see executed here, where it's just like, hey, here's your team of 4 dudes with huge guns fighting like hordes of aliens. Go have fun. And I think Ben could probably deliver on that for sure. And also, add some vehicle combat in there to boot, because
Mm-hmm.
that motorcycle, say what you want, it rode really well in that game. So
Yeah.
I'd say put Bend on it.
That's a good one. I like that choice, especially because I think Bend is getting a bad rap by those that weren't part of that cult hit following for Days Gone. And Days Gone, not a bad game. It's
No,
just not God of War. And that's the
yeah,
problem when you're that elite top tier, when you've got Ghost, when you got Spider-Man, you got Last of Us, God of War. Everybody expects the same thing there, and that's not reality. That's not a fair standard to set. So I like your answer a lot. That'd be cool to see Ben kind of work on that one. I feel like my answer is too easy, but like, what studio for an Order 1886, mind you, excels in graphical fidelity, pushes the system, and handles cover-based mechanics and shooting, third-person shooting? It's the Coalition.
it's Coalition, right? Yeah.
Yeah, like it's such an easy answer there because that is what the Coalition does. Literally, they strike team the Coalition to go help other games in visuals.
Though I would say, just to be something different, who also hits, because like the Order is all about the cinematic, filmic, nature of it, right?
Yeah.
It really wants to present itself as a movie, even like down to the way the game is even shot.
Mm-hmm.
So like it's purposeful. So to me, I think who would do a great job is Ninja Theory as well.
That's
And
a
you
good
get
answer.
to see them shut their stuff with ranged combat.
That would be interesting to watch. I didn't go there at first because right now with Hellblade 2, we all are ready for that game to drop because that's how we saw the Series X. We're all stoked because Senua's Sacrifice was so good. But we didn't really see a lot of combat in that last trailer. And so like that's why I'm a little hesitant. And maybe that's an unfair burden to place on them, but I still have confidence in Hellblade. But that last trailer was incredible. But it made me pull back a little bit on
Yeah.
what I think it's going to do. I need combat.
Fair.
So, all right. This one comes from our good friend, Mr. Boomstick XL, Xbox content creator. He says, what OG Xbox game that's not Fable or Perfect Dark needs a rebirth? Unironically, Brute Force is a
Yeah,
good
I was
answer.
gonna say Brute Force is a great answer.
That was a good answer, but I'll throw this one at you. Fusion Frenzy.
Mhm.
Fusion Frenzy is a cult hit in terms of fun party games to play with your friends on Xbox. And I think that is now a gap for Microsoft. They have two glaring gaps, and that's that party game and the platformer. And no matter what somebody tells me, Psychonauts 2 is not an Xbox platformer.
Ooh,
It is a
hot take.
great platformer made by a team that is now owned by Xbox, but that was not built for Xbox. It doesn't ooze Xbox in its core, and Psychonauts belongs to everybody. I feel, and so those are two gaps for me. But Fusion Frenzy would be a good step towards that party game. I have another one, but it's not an OG Xbox game. But I'll let you throw your answer at me.
I would say the next Psychonauts will
Okay,
be an Xbox platformer.
I agree
Right?
with that. Yeah,
Will feel like an Xbox platformer, because I understand your argument. It's like that game was so along the pipeline,
exactly.
right? But I'd still argue Psychonauts, that's there. I mean, Boom wrote this question, so let's give the most Boom answer to it. Banjo-Kazooie.
Banjo-Kazooie is that an
Come
OG
on.
Xbox game?
It's not an OG Xbox game, but every single Xbox fan wants a Banjo-Kazooie on Xbox.
Yep.
Yeah, again, N64 game, I get it. I totally get it. But I feel like when it comes to the platformer space, yeah, they need Banjo.
Yeah.
Strictly because we want it. Or Blink's the cat. Just give us something. You know?
But I think Banjo is the right answer there.
Yeah.
I not an OG, but an Xbox 360 title that I think needs to make a comeback is 1 versus 100.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that is complicated, but like, let's say 1 versus 100 was a live service game that you could only play on Friday and Saturday nights.
So
Dope.
wild. Yeah.
Like you all log in, like you have a reason to look forward to and turn on your Xbox or to log into Xbox Live or Xbox Network, whatever. But every Friday and Saturday, people would start organizing themselves around Xbox as a brand.
Yeah.
That'd be a cool thing to do. and a way to get people interested in the ecosystem that are not. Because suddenly it's like, oh, we're playing 1 versus 100 tonight. Okay.
And it's something you connect like to via PC, mobile,
Yeah.
or your Xbox. Because I know that there was like a game show that would premiere like 7:00. You turn your phone on and you get the chance to win. God knows what.
Yeah.
That was big for a while. So yeah, do that.
Prizes for like Game Pass for a month, or a free copy of Hellblade, or you know what I mean? Like there's a lot of ways that you could use your own internal assets and still get people in. And that's such a win. Oh, okay, Joe. So this question comes from Matt Reed. You know Matthew from our days in Fortnite. Matt is our favorite Fortnite player here.
Okay.
Matt says, I feel that we are in a gap of solid multiplayer games. What is coming up that I should look forward to? Now, we play Fortnite with Matt, play DMZ with Matt, which is in Call of Duty. We have not played Diablo, so like I don't know that there's a gap of solid multiplayer games.
Yeah.
But Exoprimal is the one we're looking forward to, right?
I mean, we're looking forward to Exoprimal, but Matt, if we play her, you got to run away and just do your own goddamn thing. You're such a strange player of multiplayer, because we're supposed to play as a team, but you're out here trying to be goddamn John Rambo of peace, love, and understanding. Like, you know? So
I love Matt, but one of my favorite moments was you and I engaged a team of 4. We had to reboot Suddy at some point. Matt was still alive. And like we engaged a team of 4. So it's 2v4. We took down 2 of them, and one was on the ropes and whatnot. And then like so my camera flashes to the next person alive, which is Matt. He's up on a hill, just looking out, just watching. I'm just like, shoot him. He's like, I don't think I will. I love it. Matt, I kid you not though, Matt makes my day every time we play with him.
Like, oh yeah, absolutely.
It's just warm fuzzy. So
again, he's a real adult.
Yeah. Now there is a new COD in November. The judge leaked that by accident, right?
Yep.
Like that's definitely happening in November as a new COD, and it's the last COD tied to PlayStation marketing, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Can I tell you, even if the deal fails, I bet you PlayStation re-ups that contract.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Like, I think people are like, oh, I bet you they're done with PlayStation. Nope. They're all about money.
Not the way I think those everything leaked out. It's like it show. I mean, Activision really did like wear the pants in that relationship in terms of, you know, Microsoft. Like it's like, nope, it's now 80-20, not 70-30, or else we won't make it. So like, you know, again, these corporations, they are all about counting the beans. They don't really care about the feelings involved. We care about the feelings involved because that's what makes a good drama. But at the end of the day, no, Bobby Kotick wouldn't give a shit. He would sign with PlayStation.
Yep. Yeah. This one comes from Jordy Campbell, a writer at Complete Xbox. He asks, Joe, how much do you want a new SOCOM?
So bad.
Out of 10, what's the number?
10. Give me a new SOCOM game.
Want a new SOCOM?
Yeah. It's going to be, don't get me wrong, it's going to be, I think as games have aged and how I think politically sensitive we all are, no matter what spectrum you lie on, it would be difficult to write a story for SOCOM. Doesn't make it impossible. Doesn't mean that you shouldn't do it. SOCOM's so damn good. And the way I fell in love with SOCOM's not just with the PS2 game, it's with the PSP game, playing that online. I loved SOCOM on PSP. It's honestly one of my favorite mobile games. So like, we need a SOCOM really bad. We need to, we gotta see who's working on it, to get me truly excited. That's all I'll say.
If and I'll say this to Jordy, if Activision is scooped up by Microsoft and COD is on a 10-year thing, but PlayStation starts building to compete, SOCOM will be the first try they make.
Yeah,
that'll be their Call of Duty competitor some years away.
And if Helldivers 2 does or performs well, I could definitely see, I think, what is his name? Valkyrie, work on a SOCOM next.
I'm stoked for Helldivers 2, man.
It looks so much fun.
It looks like a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm in. It's not going to win any awards, but like it's going to be fun. And that's all that really matters.
I'm sad that Helldivers is console exclusive because I want Xbox gamers to know how much fun the first Helldivers is.
Yeah.
I loved like hours and hours in the first Helldivers. Kevin and I would used to play that game. But it's hard. It was a hard
Yeah.
game.
I mean, friendly fire, like it seems like they still have the spirit. So like friendly fire is still a thing, you know?
Yeah,
for sure. Wacky and crazy for sure.
Ooh, okay, so this question comes from Rith God. He says, question for yourself, InsipidGhost. You've done a ton of interviews, but if you could choose any Xbox developer, exec, former employee to get one truthful and frank answer from them, what question would it be and how do I think it could be answered? Selfishly, I have a lot of answers to this, but the person I'd like to talk to most at this point is Sarah Bond.
Same.
I think Sarah Bond is the most interesting of the options. And like, let me be clear. In a perfect world, like I would get to talk to several of these people, and that's a goal of XCP, is to be worthy of that interview kind of thing. But talking to Sarah Bond, I think I would ask her practical, real thoughts on where she sees her leadership in the next few years. Like, do you see yourself as head of Activision if that deal goes through? Do you see yourself taking Phil's job? And then that's like part one of the answer. Part two is, and then what are you going to change? What's your goal? Like, what's your and if it's a truthful answer, I don't want the corporate like, we want it to be a place for everybody, developers of all types. Yes, you have clearly shown that's your case. But what are you going to do? What's your initiative? What's the step? So,
oh man, I'd ask something way more personal. Like for me, for Sarah, like it would be. I remember she tweeted out something of bringing her father on stage.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I'm like, so that moment, like, what did it bring you back to?
That's a good question.
Yeah,
that's a good question. I like that.
You're expecting a silly answer, but I gave you something serious.
Yeah, I was expecting a silly answer. Good job, Joe.
Thanks, man.
So this question then comes from Rith God for you. He says, congratulate them on their successful podcast milestone. That might have been for me. Did you hit a milestone?
Do we?
I don't know.
I
He's
hope
congratulating one of us. Woo, go us.
Woo!
He says, can you discuss why Mr. Badbit is by far the most popular PlayStation fan for an Xbox-oriented show?
Sure.
Except for humor, looks, charm, and wanting in on that Xbox money.
Yeah.
What else does he have?
I mean,
yeah. Oh, yeah. That's right. We're supposed to get checks from Xbox. That's a thing that people think.
Yeah. There's actually no such thing as a real Xbox fan. This is all AI generated.
Yeah.
You know that, right? This is all.
Yeah. If we're paid by Xbox, y'all need to up your Patreon tier, Aaron. Come on.
Come on,
one
Phil.
from 30. I'm 1 from 30, Phil. Be the 30th.
Sarah, what gives?
Yeah, come on. Why do you think you're so requested?
Because I reply. I think that's the most truthful I could get. No, I'll reply. I'm respectful. I'm not here to say that Microsoft's the enemy of all things. It goes back to what I was hinting at earlier. Neither of these companies are your friends. It should be the developers of each one that you're championing. You're an Xbox fan not because Phil Spencer's there. You're an Xbox fan because of Ninja Theory. You're an Xbox fan because of Gears of War. You're an Xbox fan because of 343, Halo. Like the list goes on. It's why I'm a PlayStation fan, right? Like I love Naughty Dog. I love Santa Monica. I love Housemarque. It's a reason why I'm there. I make no mistake though that these companies are here for your money, and that's the thing that we often lose ourselves in. Even some of the biggest content creators get lost in the drama, the sauce of it all. When in actuality, it's way more boring than you think. So I think that's one of the reasons. It's like, again, in arm's reach, I got an Xbox controller, PlayStation in hand. I will play anything, anywhere. I prefer my PlayStation, but I love games. I even hinted at it earlier. The controllers don't matter much to me unless it's a Soulsborne game.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's why I'm requested in the Xbox community is number one, I'll reply. 2, I'll come at it through respect, and I'm not here to be confrontational.
Yeah.
I'm also I just like to hear different perspectives, even if I vehemently disagree on it. I just want to hear what people are thinking.
I found myself, I just mute some of the console warrior hosts.
Muted a lot of them. When I hear people complain about how like toxic or blah, 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 like constantly on social media, they're like, "This should be such a great platform." It's just like, okay, just shut up and mute them. Like,
mute it.
Just mute them. I don't need a post for you to complain about the people complaining, right? Just mute them and move on. I've muted so many people. I've learned to embrace the block button, and now I follow people that I feel like I'm actually getting something from.
Agreed.
And a value, and only follow the people that I respect and that I feel like I get value for them on the platform.
Agreed.
I am very meticulous about that stuff. I do not follow everyone.
Agree. So with you, muting people has been so useful.
Blessing.
to avoiding that drama, because there are a lot of PlayStation and Xbox creators that if I went on their shows, I'd be more popular. We'd get more hits. But it's just constant vitriol. It's like, I play games for fun, bro. And like, I'm stoked for Helldivers 2. Will I pick up my PlayStation for that? Yeah. I'm actually planning to Killzone Liberation is now on PS Plus, I think.
Yep.
Yeah.
Extra,
I'm doping. I'm gonna have to up to extra because I love that game. Love that game on my PS. I played it on Vita, but it was a PSP game.
You can also buy it for $10.
Should I get extra? Should I up to extra?
Actually, no. I think it may be a premium game, so just get the $10.
Okay, I can do that.
Yeah.
I'm in. Sure, no problem. I'll get some trophies there. That's cool. Before we get to our last question, I want to point people, in case you missed it, we have the XEP wrap up for this month for Tier 3 patrons. We did an AMA. Logan plays guitar on air, which is incredible.
Is he good at it, or is he kind of like,
He's kind of good at it.
He's kind of good at it.
He's kind of good at it. We talked about our favorite Kevin Bacon movies. Logan goes into like a 5-minute like pitch for a Batman movie.
Okay.
Based on Court Lalonde's question. It was fun.
Okay.
It was fun.
Tell him to play Wonderwall next time. Or actually, one of the patrons, right in. Tell him to play Wonderwall.
He did Green Day something, which was cool.
Yeah.
And then if you missed it, I interviewed the Hive Social founder, the Twitter competitor. I really want people to check that out. She talks about it being a haven for gamers and whatnot. Super important. And then last week's interview absolutely died, Joe. Yeah. That was with Graham Reed, who's making an indie game. He's a solo developer, but he talked a lot about representation in the gaming industry. And I think for that reason, a lot of people didn't pick it up and retweet it, which sucks. That's the opposite of what we want. Yeah. So if you missed that, guys, go back and check those. They're real fun, for sure. Before we read Dano's question, Joe, did you have anything that Trophy Room has done recently you want to point people to?
I mean, listen, we interviewed Ben Starr, the lead voice of Final Fantasy 16, which is super, super proud. Even like playing that game, I'm like, wow, we talked to this guy. He is, cool. Yeah, like that is, it's nuts. You can find, last week's episode, we talked about a whole bunch of stuff. Just check out the Trophy Room. Chances are, if you listen to the show, you probably listen to us anyway. So make sure you rate us 5 stars. Make sure you follow us on the new platforms and all that stuff.
Yeah. There you go. There you go. Mr. Dano12, patron of the show, writes in and says, I don't play much multiplayer anymore. I enjoy watching competitive side of games, but do you feel traditional multiplayer games are being shoved to the side? Do you think traditional multiplayer games are made less due to industry or consumers? Or being made less due to industry or consumers? I'm not 100% sure I know what he means there, but
I think are we seeing less of them because of A or B?
Okay, so that's fair. I think traditional multiplayer games are not being shoved to the side. I think we saw a push real heavy into multiplayer everything for a bit. Every game had to have a multiplayer component. And then we saw in the midst of all that PlayStation's exclusives were single player, narrative driven, and popular. And so the big major players started to course correct. You got Jedi Survivor instead of Battlefront. You got Hogwarts instead of the multiplayer, massive multiplayer Harry Potter game that could have been. Yeah. You also saw multiplayer games stumble. Gotham Knights stumbled, right? Suicide Squad not looking good,
rough.
So I think there's an ebb and flow to the industry, and what you're seeing is just a pendulum swing. And that's really what's happening.
Yeah, you're seeing that pendulum swing, and I think what you're really seeing in the terms of like competitive multiplayer space is people settling in. So like, EA has Apex, right? Activision has Call of Duty, Microsoft has Halo, Epic has Fortnite, Ubisoft has Rainbow Six Siege. These communities are settling into themselves. So like it's kind of like what you see with fighting games, right? You don't see a lot of new fighters, but you do see a lot of refined Street Fighters, Mortal Kombats, etc., right? So, I think what you're going to see if you're interested in multiplayer is probably, PlayStation go and try to make one of those Apexes.
Yeah.
I think that's their bet. Yeah.
There's a lot of multiplayer stuff that dies too. Like
ton of it. Most of it.
Crash Team Rumble died. The Alien asymmetrical shooter that we played, we liked it. It was fun, but that doesn't have the legs. Some games just could be cool, but they cannot compete next to the Apexes. The
Absolutely.
So.
And sometimes they're just not made to because budget restrictions. So got to also take that into consideration.
Joe, scroll on down in your notes for me, please.
Okay. Is this a joke you got for me?
No joke. Scroll on down. I want you to look at the rest of the year.
Okay.
The rest of the year for what we got. The rest of the year is packed.
It is.
Exoprimal, Immortals, Sea of Stars, Starfield, Mortal Kombat, Cyberpunk, Forza, Assassin's Creed, Alan Wake, Sonic Superstars, Spider-Man 2, Mario Wonder, Avatar. The Call of Duty is in there. We just can't. We don't have a date for it.
Yeah.
Those are the big ones that I know of, and I know there's more. You got something you're looking forward to most?
Spider-Man.
That's your most anticipated now.
Yeah, Spider-Man is he's my superhero, super bias. Spider-Verse, my favorite movie of all time. Cross the Spider-Verse, my favorite sequel of all time. Like that is my empire. Yeah. So like, it's Spider-Man, no doubt. It is my favorite superhero game as well. Nice. Which I know yours is Batman. So yeah, it would be Spider-Man 100%. And then I think in second place, Cyberpunk. Third would be Starfield.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Super excited for Cyberpunk.
So if I had to rank my I think my most anticipated is Alan Wake, then Spider-Man.
Okay.
Then Phantom Liberty.
Yeah.
I think. You know what I mean? And like ask me tomorrow, it's like Avatar,
yeah. Phantom Liberty, dude.
God. Gosh. Ames was so wrong when he said that Cyberpunk launched well.
Yeah.
He's so wrong.
Yeah. That's some revisionist history if I've ever heard of it.
Yep. But
he also talks about like the South will rise again and like states' rights a lot. So
he does say that. Say that. Something about loving January 6th. I don't know. That's Ainsley Bowden. Seasoned gaming editor-in-chief.
Porsche Power on Twitter. Yeah.
It's a dumb name. It's
really
like
dumb.
Poor Shopper, but whatever.
Yeah. It looks like Poor Shopper. He's trying to convince everybody it's Porsche Power.
Tune into the next Cast Co-op to hear how this plays out.
He doesn't listen to us.
He doesn't listen. He doesn't listen.
If it's not on vinyl, he won't listen to anything.
That's true. All right. Joseph Moran, host of the Trophy Room of PlayStation podcast. Let people know where they can find you and what to look forward to.
Yeah, you can find me over on Twitter at Mr. Badbit. You can follow me on Threads at Mr_Badbit. Oh, I resent that underscore so much. You can find the show over at PS Trophy Room on Twitter as well as Threads. There's no underscore there. And yeah, you can find the Trophy Room, a PlayStation podcast made by the players for the players, where each and every Thursday, me and my best friend Kyle talk about the latest and greatest in all things PlayStation. And we stream it live each and every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I did that with all a single breath. I was like Eminem in Rap God. You remember that, kids? That could be him.
I mean, it was something.
Yeah.
Eminem's so good. He's the GOAT, man.
He really is.
Yeah.
He really is.
Yep.
Jesus. I was in third grade. All right. Encore dropped.
Guys, you can find me on all the socials, Instagram, Thread, Hive, all of them at InsipidGhost. And of course, support XEP on all your podcast services with ratings, likes, etc. If you're able to support on Patreon, patreon.com/Xbox Expansion Pass. That's the tip in the tip jar, and it means the absolute world. And let us know in the comment section, please, if you're watching on YouTube, what your most anticipated game is. I would like to read some responses there. That's it for us. Have a great rest of your week. Take care.